Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to the channel. This is Stephanie at Hightower Stitching with today's quilt. It's not a tutorial today. It's just a little bit about what I tried to work on. The quilt, you can see a little edge of it, came from the McCall's Quilting, May-June 2017, page 10. And what I did was I took my stack of books and I just reached for one in the bottom. And I thought, well, let me see what I haven't seen for a while. And the one that you see peeking over the table is the one that I saw. And in the magazine, here's a picture from the magazine. And it's so springy and so pretty. And I thought, and it's got all those nice sashing strips in between it. So this will be fun. Well, I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter how long you've been quilting, how good you think you are, which I don't go in that category too much, but this one was really a challenge for me. And this is not one that's going to appear in a tutorial. This is the one that, I got down to the last little pieces on the edge, and I thought, well, you can't quit now, but I was going to have it finished that evening, and that's what I did. And it's really a nice pattern. And if you look, you can see the fans in the center of a block. I'll show you a block. Take my magic stick. Like here's a nice aqua block. And what happens is you have templates. And the easiest way to do this one was to use the templates. Move this out of the way. Here was the big one, and when I made it, I did it out of plastic because I wanted it to last and not get too distorted, and then took a little hole punch and put it where the intersections were on the corners of the triangle. That was the big part. And then along the edge, if you look at the edge of the quilt right here, you have some partial triangles, and that had a template, so you didn't have to worry about it. I cut it out of plastic, and then I put the holes in the corner. This is one of those where it's important that if you want your center to come together, when you sew your pieces together, you stop at that little dot there. Let's turn it over. Maybe you can see it on there. And then when you get it together, that's to help make your intersections better. Well, the intersections were still a challenge, but I kept trying to get it, and they suggested on the seam in the back for the big triangle that you iron the blades, the side seams on the blades, all in the same direction as you went around. Well, I had a little trouble with that and getting it to fit where I wanted to be. So when I got a half of that fan done before I put it together, then I went ahead and I opened those seams, and I had better luck. And you said, well, where's a half? Well, if you look at back in our aqua block, this is a half of the fan, these three pieces, and these three pieces make the other side. And once you get those hooked together, then you take and you have the other one hooked together. You lay that half on that half and get your centers together and then stitch across there. Well, those were a lot of fun because I thought, well, what colors do I want to use? And I just picked, and there aren't that many blocks. I think there are only 13 blocks. See if I can pull this out a little bit. There you go. And there's 3 in the first row and 2 in the second. And then what's really funny, you can see those. When you get ready to put this quilt together, you put it at the diagonal. Your rows are diagonal. So this is row 1. And this was row 2. And it had 3 whole ones in it. And then your halves on the side. And then you picked, if you'll notice, all of these pieces are the same color in every block, in the same position. And that wasn't too hard. Once you decided that, I said gold's going to be at the north, dark's going to be on that side, and then the aqua, and then the light blue is going to be on this side. And so every one of the blocks, I think I pretty much got that. That was not an issue, because they were sewn. When you get the fan put together, you would come back and sew these, which were just a stitch and flip, and then stitch and flip. And you can, but if you can tell, these are kind of small pieces. And when I finally got it, I probably wore out the pages in that book, because I kept looking at these that I wanted to do, and I kept looking at theirs and going back and forth. And I thought I needed a left-brained person to help me, because I was missing something. But the hardest part, really, when I got done, were these little bitty triangles that are out here in the edge, because they were supposed to be a special color, and they were so tiny, because the smallest square I had was an inch and a half, and then you cut that in half to do this. And I did succeed in doing this on the machine. I think my fans I probably would have been happier with if I had done those by hand and then done the rest of it. But this is, thankfully, this is the exact size it was in the book, because I didn't want to go any farther than that. I think this is a great challenge, and it's a lot of fun, but it didn't push me so far that I just put it in the trash can, because I did do one a little while ago, and I said, oh, this is not worth my time and my effort and everything. So sometimes you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And so this one I was able to pull it out, and I've got the backing for it, so it's going to be finished. This is Stephanie at Hightower Stitching. I hope you enjoyed that little detour there. We'll have another tutorial next Sunday, and it's really pretty. It's a two-color quilt with big blocks, and you can do a lot with those. Thank you for watching. If you had fun or anything, please subscribe and hit like and leave comments, because remember, other people learn from the things that you say.